My name is Ben Odner, and I play the violin. I study at Rice University at the Shepherd School of Music in Houston, Texas. I'm here in Charlottesville to play a private concert in someone's home for the Virtu Foundation. The Virtu Foundation is an organization that helps young musicians and pre-professional musicians.
I was an amateur cellist, and I bought a new cello, and I was just stunned at how expensive instruments were. So I looked around to see if there was an entity that was active in trying to place instruments with young musicians, and I couldn't find one. So I created one. We started the Virtu Foundation, and its goal, quite simply, is to loan young musicians instruments which they presently cannot afford.
This violin is worth I believe $35,000, and I certainly can't afford that, being in grad school, but also just not really having the means, and it's been a really great resource to have. I have a rehearsal today and the concert's tomorrow. I'm going to be playing the concert with Dr. Arnold Popkin, local from the Charlottesville area. I haven't worked with him yet, but it should be a really fun experience.
Dr. Arnold Popkin is a retiring ophthalmologist here in Charlottesville. Dr. Popkin has been a long time, very accomplished pianist, and we're blessed that we could have him here.
You will notice my husband uses magic markers to really remember. Hearing is not enough sometimes.
To be able to work with someone that you haven't worked before can be challenging sometimes, but it's always a nice challenge in a way because it helps you stay flexible to work with new people.
Maybe even a hair longer. A little more second. Just a hair.
This is a violin from the Virtu Foundation. It was made in France in 1900. It's a Paul Bailly. It's now 113 years old and has a really nice tone. I love playing on it. It makes a huge difference when you have an instrument that's a nicer caliber. First of all, it's easier to play, but because of that, you can work on furthering your technique and your sound in different ways that you wouldn't be able to hear if you had a violin that was not as good. The program that I'm going to play tomorrow includes Beethoven Romance No. 2, the Brahms, the Violin Sonata No. 3, The Lark Ascending by Ralph Vaughan Williams, Scherzo Tarantella by Pablo de Sarasate, and an encore by Chrysler.
So I just thought, nice.
It's funny.
I actually don't know how many people are going to be there. I think maybe around 40 people. I'm definitely excited about the performance, but I do get nervous pretty much every time. Pretty much every time I play.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hi, Ben.
And it's really great to be here and play for you all. We have a good program for you, so we're going to start off with some Beethoven. Many of you might know Fritz Kreisler. He was a very famous violinist who wrote a lot of show pieces, and usually with a very sweet character. And this one is just a cherry on top. So it's entitled Syncopation.
some ways you have to love everything that you play in order to sell it, because people really pick up on the fact that you care about pieces. But I have to say, probably my favorite, personally, to play is the Brahms Sonata. I love Brahms's harmonies and romanticism. It's one of my favorite composers. What I try to focus on when performing is singing the line in my head as I play. Your idea of what it should sound like. If you're too worried about what's coming up, you can sort of lose track of where you are. And if you're too worried about the mistakes you made in the past, you get caught up as well. So I think in some way staying in the moment is, ideal.
A lot of showpieces, in my opinion, don't have much, deep emotional substance, but are very fun. So, and this piece was written in 1899, 1 year before this was made.
Oh.
It was a wonderful evening, and Ben is a spectacular young violinist with a great career ahead of him. Enthusiastically received. Music is very special in my life. It just provides a vibrancy that once it's in your soul, you can't get it out, and you don't want to get it out.
Music is just such an important part of my life. I mean, I can't imagine life without music, I guess would be another way of saying that. Music is sound, organized, but it's also more than that. To create something that is powerful and shares an emotion, it's what music is about for me. I mean, music means a lot.